Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Doobie, and we're going to be doing a lesson on colons and semicolons. Today you learned about colons in class, so we're going to review it just a little bit. Colons are used to start a list, but they're never used right after a verb or preposition. So if you look at the examples, we have the first one. Friday's test will cover these areas, colon, capitalization, punctuation, and spelling. So that one is starting a list. The next one is an example of a verb, so you would not be using a colon in this case. The best non-animal sources of proteins are soybeans, grains, and seeds. You do not need a colon in this list because you have a linking verb there already. The next way to use colons are to introduce material that explains or restates the material said before. An example. The epidemic grew more serious, colon. Now children as well as adults were being affected. And the same thing with the next example. Gas prices are rising significantly. Electric cars are becoming more popular because of the increase. We don't often use this. Most of the time we would just put a period there instead of a colon, but you are able to use a colon if you so choose. And another way to use a colon is to introduce a long or formal quotation. This is usually when your quotation that you're choosing from a story is longer than 4 lines. So in his novella, The Pearl, John Steinbeck describes the beauty of the pearl, colon, and then you would enter and indent your long quotation. Other uses that you find are between the hour and the time, between chapter and verse in the Bible, and after the salutation of a business letter. So if you're writing a professional letter, you wouldn't put a comma in your salutation. You would use a colon instead. Now we're on to the semicolons. Semicolons look like, well, I'll show you what they look like later. But this is how and when to use semicolons. Well, there's 3 different ways to prevent a run-on. And we're going to see those 3 ways. Here's the run-on sentence. August is the warmest month of the year. It is also my favorite month. So we need to fix that, and there's 3 ways we can do that. The first one is 2 complete sentences, which are independent clauses. August is the warmest month of the year, period, capital I. It is also my favorite month. The next way is with a comma and a conjunction. August is the warmest month of the year, comma, conjunction, and it is also my favorite month. So there are possible conjunctions for this purpose. So those are the fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. They are called coordinating conjunctions. Or, finally, you can use a semicolon. So the main purpose of a semicolon is to join 2 independent sentences together. August is the warmest month of the year, semicolon. It is also my favorite month. Don't use a conjunction if you use a semicolon. So the point here for semicolons is that they join 2 independent clauses together without a conjunction. She can't play the saxophone, semicolon. I know she'd like to learn. And another use is before words like therefore, however, or for example. So you would put it before that word and then put a comma after. So some people in the group refuse to take the assignment seriously, semicolon, therefore, comma, we received a D on our project. So in these cases, you would put a comma after the joining word and a semicolon beforehand. Another use for semicolons is when you already have a lot of commas in your sentence. And again, this is kind of a rare use, but you can go ahead and read the sentence and see how many commas there are. And then where I put the semicolon is towards the end when I shouldn't be using another comma because it would be too confusing if I did. You can see that it's a pretty long sentence, so that's why the semicolon comes into use. It's a longer stop than it would be for a comma, so it clarifies the meaning of the sentence better. Okay, I want you to pause the video and try to add in the semicolons where you find they should be. So pause the video and do that in your notes. Okay, welcome back. These are the answers here. He knocked several times, semicolon, no one came to the door. Next one, our children have traveled throughout the world, semicolon, for example, comma, Australia, Brazil, Korea, and Afghanistan. Number 3, my sister loves mysteries, semicolon. My brother likes technical manuals. And try it one more time with these. Okay, here are the answers. In Brazil, we have seen many places semicolon. On the other hand, we have never been to Africa. 5, Barbara's a diligent student, semicolon. She, in fact, is top of her class. And 6, for the campout, we took our raincoats, boots, and tarp, semicolon, but we didn't use them.